Hello everybody, coming at you with all my might is Smite. How are you guys doing today? Good, I hope. It's a nice day out. It's my weekend. I'm actually pretty chilled actually. A nice fall feel to it. I should have threw the liner in my jacket, but I thought maybe just closing the vents up would be enough, but apparently not. But I'll still be fine. I'm only going to be around the house for a little bit, so just go out for a ride and, you know, tell you guys some stories. Tell you guys a little bit about myself and what's happened to me recently and what's going on. So a little bit about my work history is what I'm going to share with you guys today. It's a bit windy out. But, so as you guys know, most of you know, I was homeschooled my whole life. I never went to a public school. Just a little fact. I graduated when I was 17 years old. I just turned 17. I graduated on June 2nd. And wait. Yeah, June 2nd. June 2nd. And on that, after that, I mean, I was trying to find a job. I was doing a little side jobs, but I was actually applying for jobs and whatnot. I did some contracting and cabinet making with the neighbor, and that's how I got enough money to buy my first four-wheeler. But that was actually before I officially graduated, because I had my four-wheeler at my graduation party. I was showing off on that, obviously. I mean, me show off? Nah, never. But, so I had enough money for that. Then I still worked, but I was continually trying to put applications in once I turned 17 and I graduated, because I had nothing to do. I was sitting at the house doing nothing. And probably one of the most boring parts of my life, because I was home alone all the time and I hated it. I mean, I didn't have a car or job, so I didn't have a car because I couldn't afford one. So, but I had the other stuff. I wasn't gonna buy a car, so that's why I bought the quad, because I knew I didn't have a job and I couldn't afford insurance. But you didn't have to have insurance on the quad or the dirt bike. But I applied several locations. I applied on the Wises. I applied to Wegmans and Surplus City, stuff like that. The only place I got an interview was Surplus City, and when I went in, I get through the interview and the guy's like, "How old are you?" I'm like, "Well, I'm 17." He's like, "Oh." Yeah, they never called me back, and none of the other places even went over my reviewed my application. I called it back to them, and usually you can get hired to places like Wegmans when you're under 18, but I couldn't. And of course I applied for Walmart. They won't hire anybody under 18. So basically I was stuck. I didn't want to work at a gas station, and my mom didn't want me to work at a gas station either, because my brother did. But that was a failed wheelie attempt. Look at all those cows. Look at them all. Oh, I say that when I look at them all. But continue on in the story. My plan was I was gonna find a job and work until I was 18 to get in the gas companies. The gas companies were booming in central Pennsylvania around that time. It was really picking up. Everybody I knew was working with the gas company. I mean, my brother was and everything. But by the time I turned 18, my uncle quit and he got a job at the spa company that I work at now. And he's like, "Levi, I don't want you working in the gas company." He's like, "You don't have any time, you don't have any life. Yeah, the money's good, but you don't have a life. You don't do anything, you work. That's all you do." And I thought about it and I'm like, what am I gonna do? Because I mean, I have my YouTube and I like doing videos for that, and I wouldn't be able to do this if I were to have a job that I was working all those hours. I mean, my brother does it, and yeah, it's hard. I mean, he doesn't do anything but work, pulling 12-hour days, and when you're out there on the site, you have to be there. So hours away from home, sometimes not even in the same state. So I got a job with working with my uncle in the same company, but and of course I had to go through a temp agency. I went through Smightification, so I went there. I talked to the guy. My uncle got me in to talk to the plant manager, and I talked to him. He's like, all right, well, I can't, you have to go to the temp agency. So I went to the temp agency. He wrote me everything up for him, and the girl at the temp agency is like, you can't do anything till you're 18. I was really close to being 18 at that time. It was like April 1st, and my birthday is April 11th. So I'm like, all right, when can you do it? What do I need? I didn't have a driver's license at the time. I still have my permit, so I needed a photo ID and everything. She's like, and we'll sign you up. So I did it on my birthday. I went down to Smightification and signed up so I could get a job. And like 3 or 4 days later, they called me up and said, all right, well, your first day is this day. Go in and, you know, wear work boots. And so I started with another guy. We started and we were in the back drilling and jetting tubs. But there's a lot of problems being as young as I am in that kind of work environment in a factory setting. Most of the problem being is not a lot of people respect some 18-year-old kid, you know? Not that I not know if I deserve respect, but I give respect, so I give respect to people worthy of respect, you know? So I'm working with this guy, and it's been like the first few days he seemed really cool, and then it just went downhill from there. He's giving me all kinds of trouble, and he's a bigger guy, but I wasn't attuned to how harsh the world is, which I got attuned after a year. I mean, now I'm just used to it. But so I mean, just from not a job to thrown in a factory setting, which I think factory is one of the worst in my opinion for that. I'm pretty sure the gas companies wouldn't have been much better, but I didn't have, there was no like stepping up. It was just boom. And so it just started, we were cutting out controls, and I was doing it a little different. He's like, here, do it this way. And he took the saw and he just cut and not saying it. I'm like, okay, I can't sit here and watch him do that. And he's like, so I started doing something else. He's like, hey, what's the big idea? You were supposed to be doing this. I'm like, you took the saw from me. How am I supposed to do it? I mean, you were doing it. Obviously, I wasn't doing it to your standards, and we both were hired the same day, so it's not like he had any authority over me, and he acted like a total kid. Yeah, coming from an 18-year-old, he acted like a kid. That's pretty weird, isn't it? But sadly, that's how our society is. So, I mean, and then it just went downhill from there. He would just look for anything I was doing and just make my life miserable at work. I mean, it sucked. So, and well, at that time, yeah, he threatened to, he's like, huh? I said something like, well, you were doing it, and he got mad. He's like, you're gonna get knocked out one of these days. I'm gonna knock you out. And I'm like, okay. And obviously, I didn't take that very well, but I didn't retaliate because I knew I needed a job. So I'm like, okay. So we continue, and just like little things, like if we were sawing, well, I was pushing a trim saw, and he would I would tell him to move a little bit so the saw was lined up, and he would get offended over that. I'm like, and then he was just flipping out on me, and he did it again and threatened to punch me and knock me out. And I'm like, all right. So I took my superior. So it went on, and after a while, it happened again. And here's my that's where I wrecked. Came around this turn, ran off the cliff over there. I'll talk about it when I loop back around. Well, crap, I lost my train of thought. Later on down the road, my theory is if someone gives you a smart comment, you can return with a smart answer, a smart question. So I had to do something. My boss told me to do something else, and I walked away to do it, and I came back, and he's like, thanks for leaving the tub for me. I got it, don't worry. And I'm like, all right, cool. Apparently that was the wrong choice of words, because he got irate. He got irate. I mean, he was just, boom, flip the switch, ready to rip my face off. And of course, I thought it was funny. So I'm smiling because he's so mad, even though he started the smart comment. I was sitting there, I'm smiling, and so I walk over closer, and he walks up to me, he's like, we gonna go? We gonna go? I'm like looking at him, just smiling. I shook my head. He walks right up to me, gets in my face, and I'm just smiling, and then he shoves me. Oh, then it was game on. I didn't attack him, but I'm like, nope, no more, no. I went and told the boss, and yeah, he got oral warning. I mean, how hard is it am I that hard to get along with that people don't like me? I'm waving my hands around if you can see. But I don't know. So I mean, he was the only one really giving me problems. So I'm like, alright. And then it just keeps going down the road, and then he's like, I'm gonna follow you home, and I'm gonna destroy your dad, I'm gonna destroy your uncle. And I'm like, alright, I can't have, I love my family a lot, so obviously I'm like, I need to make some action of sort of prevention. I just can't let this go. So I told my boss again, and this time he got written up. So after that point, I think I knew that person. After that point, it was like a ceasefire, like, because one more mistake, he's bye-bye. So I was better off, and it's been, I mean, this all happened over the course of a year, and then so we're working, and a guy in the spa line, one spa line, quit, and it's the day I find out, I told my boss, and I'm like, I want that job. He's like, all right. And more or less, I'm simplifying this out for you guys, but that's what I told him. I was like, I would really appreciate if I could get a chance at that job. He's like, all right, well, I'll consider it. And it goes on, and everybody on the line, I'm talking to them, they're like, oh, we'll say something for you, we'll say something for you. It turns out that's like, there was like 3 or 4 people wanting that spot, and he gave it to me, and they've all been there longer than me. Now, I'm not saying, I mean, I take pride in my work, and I work the time I'm supposed to work, you know? So it came in, and they moved me, and it wasn't within, I mean, the first 2 days that they moved me, they were backed up back there, because I moved up the line and not back, because I was in the back, so I moved up, and they were behind, and stuff started coming down the line that needed, like, that wasn't done right, that needed fixed. And it's like, people are noticing stuff's missing, and it did take long for people to realize what went on back there. Here's what happened is I slid off the road right there. You can see the tire tracks and almost hit that tree, but I hit the other tree. But it didn't take long for people to notice that I was really working it back there, because that's how stuff got done. And man, the first day, like, the one guy's like, I went back there, and he was like panting. He's panting. He's like, this is so hard. I'm dying. And it wasn't even 9 o'clock. We work early to 9. And well, that 9's our first break, but we work. And he's like, huh? It didn't look that hard when Levi was doing it. Yeah, that doesn't go over very well when you do that. So yeah, it was hilarious, but they're getting better now, but it really forced them into working, you know. You get those people like that. It was crazy. Like, I mean, I really take pride in my work. I try to do the best I can, and I was doing everything back there, and they didn't realize how much it took. I mean, because there was guys up the line, they're like, see, now you get to do stuff. He's like, it's not just like you're standing around all day. And I'm like, looking at him like, what? I was never standing around all day. I was working all the time. And they're like, oh, no wonder. He's like, you were doing all the work, that's why they were standing around. I'm like, yeah, that's why. But it was all good. But I'm really liking where I'm at now. I'm having tons of fun. Actually, I enjoy going to work very much now. But like I said, just do a good job. And, you know, people notice. They must, obviously. I'm really happy. It's a nice feeling. So that's what's going on for me. Just living the dream, more or less. I'm gonna go straight. I'm gonna go straight. Stop at the stop sign no one stops at. Woo! Start out in second gear. Really not good for your bike, but you know. Look at all the cows. So that's my history of work experience, and so far that's what I'm doing today. Plumbing spas. I like it. I love it. It's actually quite enjoyable. I don't have to deal with fiberglass as much. Like, it was bad. I had to put lotion on my arms and stuff like that to close my pores up. There's stones. To close my pores up so that it wouldn't get all in me. And I don't have to wear a respirator, or earplugs. It's not really loud, excuse me. But I thoroughly enjoy it now. Having a blast. So that's my life. We're gonna turn here. All new adventures await me. I mean, a lot has happened over the past year, as I can say. It's been really great. Oh, look, there's deer. Look at them. Look, they're babies. They're babies. Look, 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 look. Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute. But I lost my train of thought. Thank you for watching and subscribe. Have a nice day and God bless. I'm probably going to ramble on more after you guys leave, because who knows if you're still here? You're probably long gone, because I've been probably talking for a good 20 minutes, I'm going to guess. But anyhow, thank you for watching and subscribe. More videos will come. I promise you that, because I am Smite and I do everything with all my might. Have a nice day and God bless.